Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Starfield Raw. This is episode number 40. We hit the big 4-0, dude.
Woo!
That voice over there, messing with the soundboard like I don't like, is my co-host, Rook.
What's up, everybody? Hey, I'll be hitting the big 40 in a couple of months.
Man,
a month and a half, I think.
It's kind of hitting that two ways, isn't it? It'd be kind of ironic if we did this episode 40 on your birthday, but nah, we didn't think that far ahead.
No, we didn't. And instead, we thought about the listeners, which makes more sense, actually.
Yeah, it does.
So as everybody can hear, we are short one person. Kilo was busy today and wouldn't be able to make it. So
what I was about to say is that we did invite Kilo to come back on. We may invite him to come on permanently. It's undecided at the moment. But we got a lot of good feedback about Kilo being on the show. We really enjoyed having him on the show.
Yes.
He fits in really well. He completes us.
He completes me.
But he had a thing with his kid tonight, which is fully understandable. That kind of threw everything off. But he will be back next week. He is invited to come back again, obviously.
I give him 1 3/4 thumbs up.
See, Rook and I have talked about inviting him to be on the show permanently.
Yes, we have.
So we just got to talk to him about it. So, Kilo, if you're interested, hit us up.
Yeah, it was a unanimous vote from our listeners as well, because
we had several people comment on how much they enjoyed him. I even had a few direct messages of people saying, hey, you going to bring him back?
Yeah, he was that awesome.
One person said he was absolutely terrible, the worst thing ever we did to the show. I'm just kidding. That never happened. We actually had one listener say that it was one of their favorite episodes.
Well, yeah. He has passion of the game still, and he jives with us really well.
Yeah, we got a little bit of a renewal of that passion this week.
Oh, yeah, that new update dropped, and oh my god, I am a one happy camper with Bethesda right now.
See, I had to go out of town for work the last couple of days, right when the patch released, so I didn't get a chance. I got home at 5 o'clock. We record at 6. I got home at 5, turned my computer on immediately, turned on Starfield to update. 10 minutes later, I was sitting down, messing with my settings, and going into the game, checking out the map, and then jumping to the Unity. I'll get into that later. Changing my character, just so I have that to talk about, at least something on the show. Rook's played a bit more than I have, so I'm gonna be leaning on him a bit tonight. This is gonna be probably a shorter episode because pretty much everything out there is just about the update.
Yeah, all the news articles about how people are loving it. Our Discord's full of the update, and some talk about some mods that people really like. This isn't an episode about mods though, so
I think we're gonna stay firm on our stance with modding, waiting on it on this show until the creation kit comes up.
Yeah.
Once that comes out, we'll be reporting on mods and things like that everyone can access.
Yeah.
We'll even try them out, talk about them on the show, things like that. So when that comes out, you'll hear a lot about modding.
But with that being said, there is something in the round Discord that I added because I know Elizabeth mods her game like no other. And she's pretty much turned Starfield into a Star Wars game. I found that interesting.
Yeah, it took several minutes to write out the mods that they use.
Yeah.
Which was insane.
Yeah, it was a lot. I'm not going to go into everything.
Yeah, it was quite a bit. You have a note here that most people are running between 30 and 40% increase of XP with the new update. Yep,
that's what I'm seeing mostly, especially in our Discord and a lot of the other locations. People are running about that kind of increase. Not everybody.
We have a lot of survivalist fans in our Discord.
Ooh, that was one of the settings you can change. Oh my god, I was so happy. Water and food mean something.
Pretty much turned that off and kept it off for good reason.
I'm an explorer. I want the challenge.
We're going to get into our mod setup, or what we did. Actually, we can get to that right now. Screw it. When I got in the game, what I did, this is my setup. I put my enemy combat and player combat to extreme. Had to. I kept my enemy ship and player ship to very hard, and Rook was ribbing me about that. I didn't go extreme. I'm in a Starborn ship. I'm not going to extreme. I don't want to die every 2 seconds in space.
Just because I'm running a custom-built ship running particle beam weapons doesn't mean anything.
It means that you can survive a lot easier than I can. Not the pansy, uber fast Starborn ship. So one thing I like about Starborn ship is how fast that thing is. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's quick. But
I haven't come up with a ship faster than that yet.
I wish they'd let you mod it.
Yes, that is one thing I've been wanting to do for so long is have that quote unquote alien technology that you can mod, which I'm really hoping comes in a future expansion,
Yeah,
which
I'm
would be
hoping
amazing.
they need to do something because you can't put a ship in the game and then nobody want to use it. You have to at some point make it where you can mod it to make it where you want to use that ship.
That's one thing I've been really missing doing my Unity jumps I've been doing lately is shipbuilding.
I've been
I,
doing.
as a reminder, everybody, I did put up videos, tutorial video on shipbuilding, as well as the basics of outposts and resource allocations, and that's
Mhm.
up on my channel. Well, still gotta get it up on our YouTube, but that's at YouTube/the widget if you're interested in that. So they're there.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I actually got to get into editing stuff for our YouTube. Oops.
yep.
Where you went extreme, extreme, very hard, very hard. I went extreme in all four because I'm not worried about ship combat. I actually like the challenge.
Well,
And
I
I
can't
gotta
wait to try out my sniping prowess because I gotta post my player my player not loadout but my skills my
Yeah.
skill set because I think I built the ultimate sniper build because I
Mhm.
was taking out level 94's elites in one shot using a subpar sniper rifle.
So I'm running the Beowulf. I went extreme on my enemy and player combat damage. Luckily, I'm actually using cover properly like a real soldier, so I'm not dying instantly. But it does hurt when you get hit.
Yeah, that's what I've seen.
And sniping is a little bit more difficult when you're not set up in that skill set.
I need to get a very good hard target to give it a really good test.
No, you need to get you a white one and customize it completely and actually test it like somebody who can't have the luck to find a really good hard
Or
target.
like me.
Yeah.
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 That makes
Play
perfect
like
sense.
you.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way it goes. I have the worst luck ever. I used to stream on Twitch for like every day, and people would come on just to see how bad my luck was that day because I would do Hearthstone, and they would
Yeah.
start calling me Bad Luck Widget or Bad Luck Joe.
Yeah.
So it's true, it's real, and I put up with it, laugh at it, and move on. I kept ammo weight off.
So did I.
I didn't want that to hinder me. I'm not worried too much about the true survival aspect of it, but I was very interested in some of the different things in the game.
I am going to go ammo weight off the next time I go into town or ammo weight on because I'm going to sell a lot of my ammo that I don't need. I want to see how it actually affects my
Oh yeah, I'll be playing around
weight.
tweaking these things for sure. But right now is just how I want to try it out for now.
Mhm.
Carry capacity I kept as normal. I haven't had an issue with that, and besides, I have unlimited personal atmosphere, so it's not an issue.
Yeah, I left mine at normal even though I don't have any starborn powers.
I have rank 7.
Yeah, see. Yeah, about that.
I can go a long time. That's what he said. Anyway.
Whoa, whoa. I did not say any such thing.
So cargo access distance, I did the same thing as you and put it as inside ship
Mm-hmm.
because that's what I do anyway right now. I have never accessed it outside of it other than when I'm doing my outposts.
Yeah, that's what I do. Everybody here should by now should realize I role play my characters. So if
Well,
I
I do too, but not as extreme.
if I have to access my cargo, I will go in my ship and access my cargo because they don't put doors on the outside of your cargo.
Yeah. Well, even no, come to think of it, even outposts, I used to go into my ship to do everything. I just use the link to pull everything from my outpost into the ship. So yeah, no change there for me, and it gives me +2 XP, which kind of it counterbalances what I did next, which was vendor credits. I did increased, so that was a +2 XP for the inside ship and -2 for increased vendor credits. So it just balances out.
Oh, I got greatly increased vendor credits because it makes no sense for them to only have 5,000 credits.
Well, I should
Vendor or
have
weapon
around
shop.
10K at least on average for the lower amounts, and I believe it goes up to like 30 or 40 now for me.
Mm-hmm.
But for you, it's like what 100K in some places.
I haven't gone into a vendor yet.
Well, what the heck, man? You're supposed to be researching everything.
You know where I've been getting all of my money from right now? I
Exploring.
went to the Eye and had over 215 data slates to sell to Vlad. And some were
I've actually
10,000,
never
many
sold
were
anything to Vlad.
6,000. Huh?
I've never sold anything to him. I didn't know that was a thing until like what, a month ago.
Yeah, when I did it.
Yep.
Yeah, but I sell all of my data to him, and I'm still sitting at over 120 things, maybe 150 things to sell him. And on average, it's 1,125 credits per. So I say on average because there's some that are 2,225.
So what you're saying is that's how you finance your shipbuilding.
To build the current ship I'm flying, yes.
Fair enough.
Especially when you sell 10,000 credits worth of stuff.
What I would always do is pick up every weapon from every person that I kill and sell them, and I get a ton from doing that. I mean, mind you, before this update, I had to wait for like an entire week to sell everything, but I got it done.
Yeah, that's why I will go and sell stuff to at Aquila because I can go to a bunk bed right around the corner, sleep, and then go back around and sell.
Fair enough.
All right, so let's continue with this.
Next thing, I'm loving the tangents, man. We could keep that up.
Medical item healing.
Normal.
Mine's on normal. I don't see a reason to change it right now.
No, I don't either. Besides, I have the perks, which allow me. That's what I was thinking about earlier, is perks. Anyway, I have it where I get more healing from healing items, so I didn't really feel the need to add more or even take it off. It didn't make any sense. I'm rarely ever face to face, except for in certain situations, like when I cannot do stealth.
Yeah, you're not me. You're not trying to go and melee people with.
Exactly. I say from a far distance, and I end them before they realize they're dead.
Food healing. Mine's set to none. I think mine's set to normal.
I did more.
I didn't see a reason because I don't eat a lot of food. I do a lot of alcohol.
I'm working on my nutrition skill.
That to you, that's kind of important.
Yeah, and with this, it's actually going to be meaningful for me to eat everything I see. And it kind of goes with my guy. He's a glutton. He likes killing from a distance and eating everything he sees. He has bounty.
So did you make him on the larger side, or did you make him really muscular?
I will get into that when we talk about our week, because I did change it a little bit. I modified him a little bit, my next jump, to signify his changes between the unities. Anyway, I'll get into that. Sleep healing, I did none.
Mine is sent to limited locations. I can only sleep in ships, settlements, or outposts. It's the only way I'll recover when sleeping.
That's fair.
Legit.
I never did sleep healing because it wasn't a thing, so why worry about it? And I get plus 4% XP, so why not?
Sustenance.
I
turned that on. I turned it on because I want to actually do the real survival thing where I'm running around and having to drink while
because it messes up my sniping, so I'm not going to do it. Not yet, anyway. I know the importance of being hydrated, especially when you're, in prone, waiting to kill somebody from a long distance. But it's not as bad as the game puts it to be, from what I've been hearing.
So I haven't gotten malnourished or dehydrated, so I don't know what the effects are yet. I'm gonna have to wait until I play more to actually get that way.
Fair enough. Combat affliction gain, I put it as normal.
To me, that's on normal, and so is affliction treatment.
Same. I was bouncing between different things just to see, but I decided to keep it on normal for now. But I did change the affliction prognosis to advanced.
I didn't touch that one.
It made sense because that's an easy plus 5% XP because I get afflictions all the time. I break limbs all the time jumping from a high purchase, but it gives you a better chance of recovery as well as having a chance to get septic and stuff like that.
I lied. My combat affliction gain is increased. I actually have it because as soon as I went into combat over by the factory, I started bleeding.
So you went for the hyper realistic.
Well, this is one of the outposts.
If they did hyper realistic, if you were out like a low atmosphere planet, you get shot, suddenly you red mist in your visor.
Oh, that would be too realistic.
Yeah, that'd be too far. Way too far. Don't listen to us, Bethesda, on that one.
Do it.
Let me see here.
Environmental damage and affliction.
Normal.
I think that one's normal for me too. But what about restoration?
Normal.
Mine is set to limited.
I turned aim
So
assistance off because, heck, I don't use a controller.
mine's off. It
I would
doesn't
never
really
use it
change
anyway.
anything. And I gotta ask you, did you turn off the dialogue camera?
Oh, I have not done that yet.
It's under the accessibility settings
I need to do that. I need to write a note on that.
because it took me a minute to find it, but when I found it, I was like, "Oh, that's where it is. That makes sense. It's under
That's something
the
I've been wanting to do
accessibility."
since they showed it on the video. So my total XP is plus 27%.
My total is plus 30%.
So there we go. I'm
And,
excited to see because I haven't had enough time to do anything.
and according to Anna Elizabeth, hers is 30 to 40% depending upon how she wants to play.
Yeah, a lot of our listeners were talking about that.
Yeah, I love how they give you the options on different characters. You can change it up different ways, and really give yourself a true different experience when you play a new character.
And this is like suddenly they're exploded with a weapons discussion since we started recording.
Oh yeah, they went way off on weapons.
Yeah, I don't see anything of interest. I have
Neither do
nothing
I.
of interest in there. Sorry, guys. All the weapons they're talking about, I don't use.
Let's see. I am running around with the Vern Star Shard. I'm
Those
not running
are
around with that one. I'm
interesting.
running around with the rifle version of it.
That one I like, and I can't remember the name of it right now either. But that's the one I will use.
584 damage out for energy, and then 150 for physical. He's hurting people.
Yeah, and my sniper rifle do way more. Anyway, but that would be a good up close weapon, I'd assume, for those moments where I can like the stupid.
No, you need a
The
shotgun.
Berry Temple. I can't do stealth, and yet I still use my sniper rifle the entire way through. I'll talk about that in a minute.
Well, since you're on it already, might as well roll into your week, sir.
All right, why not? So I did the first half of the Great Power Run because I was in the New Game Plus 6, and did that. Got that whole mess taken care of. It's such a slog. I cannot wait for ground vehicles. I would be in Discord talking as I was doing it, and every time I kept bringing it up, I want the ground vehicle. I want the ground vehicle. I want to just book it all through this map, and with the new map, it's going to be even better. I sided with the emissary, like always when I do these quick runs. It just makes it a lot easier to do the buried temple.
It's
And
nice.
here's the funny thing, though. In my original first game on my main, it was Sam that got killed.
Mm-hmm.
So it was Sam for every new game plus that was the emissary. This time, it was Sarah.
That's
I
different.
thought that was odd.
That is
So-
odd.
I went and did a base before I went to the Buried Temple because I needed to get weaponry because I was running with the weapons I got from the very beginning of the game.
Mhm.
And a couple I found when I was going to get the shards. And the last guy I killed dropped a white hard target. A basic, bare bones, non-modified hard target. I was through the moon. I never even find that.
Hey, now you can set it up and do exactly what I told you should do.
Well, I kind of lost it already.
Ow.
Yeah. I went to New Game Plus 7.
Fair enough.
But I did go through the Buried Temple and use nothing but my hard target. Even with people running at me.
Sounds legit.
Quick scoping him like crazy. One-shotting all of the Starborn. It was fantastic. But I ran into a little bug on the second phase. And that's where after you kill the group of them outside,
Mhm.
you go into the little L-shaped, the T-bone section before you go into the main complex. And there's that guy that turns into those guards constantly, the Starborn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you gotta take him out. Well, I wasn't killing him in one shot. I kept missing his head and hitting him in the chest or whatever. And every time I did that, the game would bug out. He would disappear, and my quest markers would go 5 different directions all over the world. And he would never come back. So I could not progress the quest.
That is a weird bug.
Yeah. I rolled it back 3 times, going back to the beginning of the Berry Temple. On the third time, I got a headshot on the dude right away, killed him right off the bat, and I was able to progress.
Congratulations.
So that was weird that if I didn't kill him in one shot, I was bugged.
Maybe the game was like, oh, you're going to kill everybody in one shot? Let's see what you do with this guy. Ha, you missed.
Oh, no, the funny part? I didn't kill Hunter again.
Are you ever going to go after the hunter?
I was fed
Seriously.
up, man. I was just like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna just talk him out of it, get stuff and run. Yeah. So I got all the pieces and started doing the second part of the Great Power Run. Slogging through that. But then I got to a point where I had to go to Tau Ceti, 8B, doing that off memory. I'm so good. But it would not give me a quest marker on the planet.
That's weird.
I went to the planet, went around it, scanned it, everything, nowhere to land, nothing, and like triple checked it was the right planet. I land, couldn't see anything, nothing. So I reloaded the game, re-got the quest, and it was the same thing. So I stopped playing. I was getting fed up anyway, and I had to get leave for work for my work trip.
Yeah.
I was hoping that the patch would fix it, so I went into the game after I installed the patch today, and it was not fixed. So I decided to, you know what? I'm going to be missing 4 of the powers, but oh well. I got the key powers that I needed upgraded, so it wasn't that big of a deal. So I just decided to jump into the Unity after I changed all my settings. Yeah, I was hoping for a new universe. I went to New Game Plus 7. I did change my character a little bit. So he's lost a little bit of weight from his constant running around, and I got rid of Wanted.
Oh, it makes sense. Why would you be wanted in a new universe right off the bat?
Yeah. But he did gain alien DNA from experimentation in like New Game Plus 6 or 5, whatever, one of those. He got injected. I got Raised Enlightened because he found religion in the last universe.
I would too if it was that buggy.
Yeah, exactly my point. And I got Terra Firma. I am a sniper after all,
Fair enough.
not a space pirate. So
So what you're saying is if the beginning of the temple runs, when you meet the emissary, if the emissary is not who it should be, you're bugged.
oh, that reminds me. When I rolled back on my second time in the Berry Temple,
Mhm.
the emissary was Barrett.
Huh?
Yeah. I recognized that voice right away. My head went to my desk like, you got to be kidding me. And I was getting all kinds of weird stuff happening. It was weird.
Maybe that was the bug that one of the bugs people are talking about if you don't go through the Unity fast enough.
Well, I went through it pretty quick. Between the powers and everything like that, I think I was in that universe for 2 hours game time.
I do wonder if they actually patched that out because my current character that I've been running, Kalen, the soldier, is level 57, and I haven't come across any major bugs yet.
Yeah, I
Knock
hope
on
so.
wood.
Oh, Mossy just had a really good question. We'll talk about that later. But see, that was it. I didn't get too much time to play as I wanted, especially in the update. I was so excited to play it. I'm playing it right after I get done editing tonight. So
Unfortunately, I got to work tomorrow,
I do
and
too.
Saturday, and Sunday,
But
and
I need to
Monday.
play. I haven't been able to touch a game in 3 days. I gotta do it.
I'm back into my grind of having really long days.
And I haven't
so.
decided if I'm gonna power through this one because it was not a special Unity or a special universe.
I would run through it normally so you can figure out and
I might do some
See
bases
how-
and stuff like that just to get used to it, but I think I'm gonna kind of power through it. I really want that, or what I could do is just roll back my save and go back in a couple times, see if I can get a good one. Because I wanted to go back and experience everything in the game again, which I've been really itching to do. I want to do Ryujin really bad and some of the side quests.
Mhm.
One of these I'm gonna actually. I think on New Game Plus 10, I'm gonna do everything for the first time. Everything, all 4 faction quests, all the side quests I can do. See if I can load up the end.
That'll be
load up the
interesting.
Unity. Yeah.
I don't know if I've done everything on what. No, my bounty hunter I think has no. She hasn't done. No, I think she has done Freestar.
I'm gonna get
She's
a
on
full
Freestar.
fleet. I'm gonna get all 8
What's
outposts.
the point of having a full fleet if nobody flies the fleet for you?
So
you
you
know
have
how
it.
cool it would be if you.
It's like, what's the
were
point
in
in
a
owning
big-
more than one car? People do it anyway.
Yeah, but I actually drive both of my vehicles.
That wasn't really big, on you, but you have reasons for both your vehicles. There's
Yeah.
people out there that buy multiple cars just to drive a different car.
Yeah,
More
they're
power
usually
to
the
'em,
really rich
but-
people that use them as status symbols.
Yeah, I was saying it's kind of the same thing. Like, if I want to take out this ship this time because it's faster, I'll take that one. That one's armed to the teeth. I'll take that to go blow some stuff up. I want to say the other word, but I did not.
I want to go and get. This is what I want them to add. I want them to add where I can actually hire, like, instead of just being members of my crew, I can assign them to a couple other ships and they can fly alongside me. So like I have this really big 80-meter gunship, and then have two small fighters flying around me at all times.
Hmm.
How cool would space battles be then?
Oh yeah, I would love to have reasons, especially if you could use your own ships to do cargo runs between your outposts.
Mm-hmm.
Do it faster, and you can assign which one it's going to go to and how it's going to hop. Would be
Oh
amazing.
yeah,
I am begging you guys, Bethesda, put in the game the ability to build and own our own space station.
I am begging you out there, all you modders. When the creation kit comes out, give us the ability to build and own our own space stations.
And a
That's more
Star
likely to
Destroyer.
happen. You can build one of those, but it'll bug out your game pretty bad from what I have seen.
Yeah, I just want the space station. Those are in the game, and through bugs in the game, people have been able to put them in the shipbuilder, so it's possible.
No. Get it right. The key, a very important one.
Yeah. That's true.
All right, so
What
let's
have you been
roll
up to,
into my
man?
week.
What have you been going in?
So I jumped in and finally finished after 3 days of building, destroying, building, destroying, building, and destroying my ship. I finally built it how I wanted it. I got
you
some
can spend
inspiration.
so much time in shipbuilder. I spend hours.
I did. I spent at least 8 hours just in the shipbuilder.
Yep.
And it was like, I like the engines being underneath and up forward, but it doesn't look good with this aesthetic. Delete that. You know what? Screw it. Let's start over again. Scrap everything and start over again.
Even my shipbuilding guide I tried to keep it down to minimum for time frame. It still took an hour to do the very bare bones basic ship.
Now, I did not, let me emphasize this. I did not do the shipbuilder when the patch released. My ship, I had finished. I went to bed, got up, and put all my settings, downloaded the patch.
It's not a patch, it's an update.
Okay. Downloaded the update.
Big difference.
Downloaded the update. Yes, I will agree. I downloaded the update, went immediately into the settings, changed combat, and went into dogfighting with my ship.
That's fair.
Thank God I rebuilt my ship because my old one would not have survived because it doesn't have the power. My current ship has speed and maneuverability with turrets, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
Granted, it's only a Class B, so it only has 995 shield right now because I didn't dump much points into my shields.
I want to build 3 different fighters with 3 different weapon loadouts so I can go play around with. Mm-hmm. One all missile and ballistics based, and then one with lasers and everything to just chew away the shields, and then one that's mostly turret based.
The turrets are fun, but the problem is you don't have any control over them. So
yeah. That's the turret. Automatic turret.
If they're shooting at an enemy, you can't tell the turret to stop until and avoid hitting a friendly. It's going to keep shooting that enemy even if a friendly flatly is right in between them. So I have really gotten people after me when I did that, and it was just ridiculous. That's how I had that bounty that caused me to fight the hunter as bounty hunters.
Oh,
what's up?
I read something very interesting in Discord. I'll talk about later. Sorry, it caught me because I did not know that.
Oh, okay.
We'll talk about it later.
I went into the game, and the very first thing I did when I landed on the planet,
service
by
map.
the factory, open up service map.
Heck yeah,
dude!
I did that too.
I can actually see a general layout of what the base looks like.
Okay, get this. I was in New Atlantis, so I did the surface map. That's the first time I understood the layout of New Atlantis. I never knew what the layout was before that.
Yeah, it's hard to picture it when you're running around on the ground.
Yeah.
Now that they got the map. Yeah.
Yeah, it's completely different than what I thought.
Yeah, and it's awesome. I love how they now that I see it and see that the starport is down below, up on the 2 sides between your commercial and residential districts, you have a river that runs through and leads to the waterfall. And that's awesome. You never notice that when you're on the ground running around. I didn't know that
the lodge was in the very upper echelon in the far back in the park. Well, I knew it was in the park, but I didn't know that's where the park was located.
Yeah, it's way back there. Yeah, like I said, you don't really get to see that. Aquila City from the map is beautiful.
I haven't gone to my favorite city, Neon,
I'm afraid to go to that one.
3 or 4 different New Game Pluses. So I got to do that. I got to go there and do the surface map. I want to see what that looks like. I have a good idea what it looks like in my head because it's pretty simple. It's just a long corridor with multiple levels. But I want to see if that's really the case.
It looks like it's nothing but an oil derrick, really.
True.
The design. But on the ground, I can now really start pinpointing and marking on my map where I think I can mark on my map where I want to go for potential environmental shots. And it'll make it so much easier to find the water when I land near the ocean.
Yeah.
Instead of having to run one direction, be like, nope, that's not it. Run the other direction. Oh, that's not it.
What I can't wait for is when I do my power runs, the Great Power Run, I can open the map and see exactly where that temple is and not have to guess in forested areas.
Yes, but I'm loving it. I winded outside the factory and I went over to an abandoned UC barracks. From the overhead view, I knew where all the main buildings on this barracks are, and as I zoomed in, more detail emerged. And so I was able to see stuff better. And so I had figured out where I want to go, which way is the best way in. And so I snuck in. And then that's where I realized with my extreme combat difficulty settings, sniping with a Beowulf is a little tricky.
Yeah. And very hard. You can make it work with the right loadout, with the right setup and skills. You can make it work very easy.
Oh, it worked.
Yeah, but where
I was sitting, I had plenty of time for me to pump enough rounds downrange to hit the enemies, including the elites as they're coming towards me. But they were still able to hit me. It still hit hard, and I was bleeding when I got down, and I didn't even realize it because I was so focused on surviving. And then I'm running, and my guy goes, huh, huh. And I look down at my afflictions in the bottom left. I'm like, I'm bleeding. When did that happen?
When you got shot?
Apparently. So I healed myself up. I went into the settings, like we discussed earlier. Food and drink I had turned on. I increased vendor credits to bump up to greater. I increased combat. I increased my combat affliction gains. Yeah, sleep healing is location limited. Environmental damage is limited. I went to Aquila. Okay. I ran around Aquila.
Did you look at the service map?
Not in Aquila. I wanted to because I want to see how beautiful it's going to look. But the problem I have is I had to rediscover the rock, rediscover the bar, rediscover the Caribou, all that, because when I went in with this new update, everything's undiscovered. But when I went to New Atlantis, the residential district full itself is discovered, but not the little locations in it, and also not any of the stores in the port area. So I have to go rediscover stuff. But you know what? Now that I actually get to look at a map and see what is where, the layouts actually make more sense to me.
Yeah, it does. It didn't make sense to me before. Now it does.
I turned on the dialogue camera, and I'm loving the game not automatically zooming into the face.
I need to do that.
This is the improvements I wanted to see early.
Yes, this is what we've been wanting.
Not this late after release. I wanted them to...
You know what? Better late than never.
This is true. I'm glad they did it. It's stuff that people were asking for, and now they're getting. And I'm loving every minute of it.
These kind of big changes take time to build into a game.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been nice if they would have thought about it prior to release, but I am glad they're doing it. I'm so glad they've been improving the game. My graphics are 1,000 times better. Mm-hmm. The atmosphere, I've already noticed, is even better now in this recent update on When You're on Planet. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm loving it. I am glad all this has come out. I see why they were so quiet, because it makes it so much more impactful in them saying, oh, no, we got something coming. It's no, we're working on something. That's it. That's all you heard. And
they did give us a recent teaser, though, of the ground vehicle, at least one of them. I think there might be more. Judging by what I saw, there could be more.
It could be more, and it could be one of those where, yeah, they have more ground vehicles, but they tease us by one of the updates just releasing one ground vehicle. Mm-hmm. And then tease you with the next images of the next one, and then tease you that way, and then just come out with a big one.
Speaking of which, I discovered something on my stills I took of that video the day after we recorded the Update 4
Mm-hmm.
episode. And I was wrong. I think I was wrong in thinking that Shattered Space is going to be is Starborn. It's not. Because if you zoom in on one of the stills where they're working on Shattered Space, that one of those brief scenes they do, it says Varun.
I know, we discussed that.
We didn't discuss it on the air.
I could have sworn we did.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's
We might have. I just spaced it, but
we were discussing it. We were actually, I want to say, without going back and listening to the show, that we were actually zoomed in, both analyzing it, and I think you pointed out, actually, I think this is Varun. You might be right.
well, at least that's what it looks like. It could be a combination of both. We don't know.
It could be, but it's going to have something to do with the Varun as well.
Yes,
they're going to
I'm
be
excited for. And that's something I've been predicting since day one on this show.
Well, it's the only thing that makes sense when you actually read the
Exactly.
lore when you're playing.
Yeah.
And then while you're doing the UC quest and you actually read the Varun's what are they called?
I can't think of it either.
Embassy ambassador's computer, and how he says that Varun have started communicating with him again. So it really makes you wonder. That is what's made me wonder. Is
without
that
spoiling, doing my booze story goes into a lot of that too.
Mm-hmm.
When you do her story through her play, you get a big insight in it, and it really, really, really teases at the Varun because it leaves a whole lot open.
It makes you realize that they're actually leaving more story open so they can actually add more to the game. And I
still look at the Varun as partly my family.
Well, it depends. Are we talking about the real Varun? Are we talking about
The Zealots?
Zealots.
Nope,
Zealots.
not those. Not the Zealots. I mean, technically my boo is kind of like a Zealot, but she's from the main faction, so...
Dude, when you meet her, she's killing the Zealot.
True. Oh, yeah, never mind. She does mention how much she hates him quite a bit in her story. I backtrack on that.
Yeah, the
But
very
she's
first time
definitely
you
main
meet her,
faction.
she's killing a Zealot.
Don't
Of
think
course she
bad of
doesn't
me
like-
for murdering these people in cold blood. No, I'm even more in love with you.
I don't know if my Varun character has actually talked to her yet. I don't remember. So I want to get into this question that was asked by Mossy.
Yeah.
So Mossy asked in our questions channel on Discord, it says, so with what you've checked as options, considering how many this update has brought, has it changed the way you're playing? And if so, how?
He asked that to everyone, but we definitely want to answer that because right now I can't say for sure what because I haven't really had a chance to really get into it. But what about you, Rook?
So I've actually been playing with it for a bit, and it has, with my combat options set the way they are and my food and everything set the way they are, I'm being more cautious on my combat. Like, I went up to this outpost, went up to a tall tower, and I literally snuck in and made sure I had good shots and snuck up to this tower and took the guys out before they could alert anybody else within the first 3 shots. I mean, they would get alerted by I shot at them and didn't kill them right away, but I'd have them dead before they could start alerting everybody. And then I crawled up to the end, and I'm checking out, making sure I see where everybody's at. It's got me playing more tactical now as a soldier versus going guns and blazing.
So
and
it's definitely putting you more in the RP mode.
Yeah, it's actually, I'm really liking it. And it's making me appreciate Simeon a lot more because that guy with the sniper rifle.
Yeah. I got to pick him up. Go pick him up at a bar. I'm going to get more time in the game, hopefully this weekend. So we'll talk about it next week's episode.
Yeah, I'll sneak time in here and there. I am going back to working my 12-hour days after having a 3-day weekend. So the thing that I'm really not seeing too much of a massive difference on is space combat. And that was primarily because I was starting to change how I was flying in combat anyway to try being more jukey and maneuverable and timing my boosts better. So I am actually getting better at my dogfighting just out of changing my style. Since I'm changing my style that way, I'm still I'm getting hit harder, and I'm not hitting quite as hard, but I'm still firing fast enough to take out enemy ships before they can take me out. I saw this picture, not picture, a video. I don't remember where I saw it, but it was cool. It was if you're flying there in combat and the enemy blows through a rock and starts shooting at you still, that you are hiding behind.
Nice.
But it's in space combat. This guy flies around, fires 4 missiles at a boulder or as an asteroid, blows it up, and starts unloading on the enemy ship.
So, as a designer, from a standpoint of a designer, this may not be the content patch that a lot of people were hoping for, content update, but I can very clearly see that they are rebuilding the game in a way to support the new content.
Okay, that leads me into my next thing I wanted to talk to you about.
Yeah.
All right, so Gaming Bible has a post about this new update. How they're talking about it, how it's a most hyped game, blah, 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 and how they reviewed it, and the game, and all of that. But they went in, and they started taking people's thoughts on the game. And the biggest ones that I'm seeing are actually from the Xbox community and about how different the game is with it being a 60 FPS now. So that it's, let's see, this week a new update arrived that not only made various quality of life improvements, but also brought the highly requested performance mode, boosting the frame rate to a targeted 60 FPS. Some of the comments were, heck yeah, 60 FPS on console. I'm so happy with the new performance update on this console. Another one said, I'm super immersed now because of the smooth 60 FPS. Now I can raise my rating of this game from a 7 to an 8. They continued saying, the 60 FPS is ungodly jarring. It's literally like playing an entirely new game. We knew the game would hugely benefit from a smooth frame rate, and it really should have been here from the beginning. So people are really big on the 60 FPS on Xbox. Apparently that's one of the biggest downfalls it had, and now it's like one of the best.
What, the best downfall?
No, it's one of the yeah, I just realized what I said. It's one of the best updates to the game for Xbox players.
Yeah, so from what I was trying to get at is that with all these improvements to the game, they got it's in sequence. They're doing it in sequence, guys. So they improved the graphics, which needed to be done. Mm-hmm. Okay, that was a big thing. Now they've updated our settings and a lot of the features. We are going to see content update very soon.
There's one thing I am disappointed they didn't add.
What's that?
The ability to turn on ship fuel.
Oh, that's probably going to be a big deal for them to do. If they decide to do it, which I think they're going to lean
it's
towards.
It's already in the game.
Somebody
has the base copy somewhere.
Well, anytime you add anything like that big, even if it was in the game in a previous build, it doesn't mean it's going to be in the game now. And it's going to affect multiple other systems of the game. Mm-hmm. So even if they put that code back in, they're going to have to extensively test every aspect of the game to make sure, especially with ships, anything involving ships, that it didn't break anything else, and then they have to go fix anything that did break.
Now, let's be very clear here. Neither me nor Widget are game data divers, so we don't dive into the data of the game. There are people out there that do that. So if somebody's out there and they see, hey, the data for this is still in there, it's just marked as an off, then maybe we could see it. Because people have added it through mods and didn't break the game with their mods. So I'm wondering if...
They did, but they had to fix that problem.
Well, I don't know. I just know a couple of people who run it and enjoy it.
Yeah. I know. That's something you've been very big on. I'm either or about it. I've always wanted the ability just to be able to land my ship myself.
That one, we both know why you won't get that one.
Oh, I know. I know exactly why. And
it's a loading screen.
Yeah, it is. It's a big game to load, so I get it.
Yeah, it takes for the quality in this game when you land on a planet versus the quality of the planet when you land on a planet in Elite Dangerous, which does have smooth transitions to planets, is night and day. The quality of this game is so much better. The planets don't feel so dead when you're landing on a living world, stuff like that.
And we know that we've got ground vehicles coming, which is something that we talked about in the beginning of the game as well. After launch, something we really wanted. That's coming. They've promised us new content updates, not just Shattered Space, but content updates. So we'll be seeing that, new quests, things like that. But then they also tease the fact that we're getting new weapons, new armor, or new suits in the expansion. So it's getting out there, and we'll see the expansion probably in the next 3 or 4 months.
Part of me wishes that Microsoft would have been the not producer, but what's the other name?
Publisher?
Publisher of Helldivers 2. Because then that would have been cool to incorporate Helldivers, Halo, and Bethesda all into the same game.
I don't know, man. I think Starfield needs to stay its own entity.
Well, the thing is we need new designs for the suits. The suits, if
At least
we're
the
in
ability
it,
to change it ourselves.
yeah, because you're in the future. Not every. They did it with the Mantis. The Mantis is a streamlined suit. You can explain in game why the suits are better. Yeah, it's cool to have the Constellation exploration suits, but the other suits, come on, they don't all have to be big bulky suits.
Yeah, they do. It's space.
Either that or give me big bulky ground armor.
I've always been on the camp that I don't really care much about this, but I know a lot of you do. That's why I like to bring it up.
So here's what Mossy said about his gameplay, by the way. Since we asked the question, we might as well read his answer. Me personally, I've got a small country's worth of ammo to sort through. It pushed me past
Well, I
encumbrance.
think I left mine off.
It pushed me past encumbrance nearly 1,500 unit pounds. Whatever. I had already dropped nearly everything optional too, resources, etc., in preparation for it. I'm going to have to lay off my vagabond ways and long enough to make an outpost and an ammo dump, I reckon. Hey, there's you a good outpost build idea. An ammo dump.
Right. You know?
So what you said you saw something earlier.
Yes, I did. I'm going to bring it up now. And I think I'm going to name this the Mossy episode because it was Mossy who did this, and I did not realize it. He said, I also like that you can just pull up your visor in town and fast travel by icon.
Oh, I did not realize that. I knew you could fast travel per major location, like per zone, but I didn't know you could.
Apparently, he's saying you can fast travel right to the shop using the icon now.
Nice.
That is a big deal to me. I hate running around. That's why I don't do any shopping in New Atlantis. I hate running around that place.
It's easy. You go, you land, you run up the ramp, you go over to Jameson Tech Mercantile, sell what you can there. Go get on the tram. Go to.
You're proving my point right here.
But selling guns, it does have one of the best gun sellers when it comes to amount of money she has.
And the ammo she carries, which I've been to that store a couple times because it is worth the run sometimes. Mm-hmm. But it's easier, so much easier for me to go to Neon or Aquila and run a few steps and sell and buy.
The difference is I don't fast travel in towns, and I don't really fast travel on ground either. I run all the way back to my ship.
I am totally using the fast travel in town. There's no if and but about it.
Well, to me, outside of obviously using the built-in travel system for the tram, it doesn't make sense for me as a role player just to fast travel because it's more convenient. I will run my butt around. But I also like listening to what some of the people are saying as you run by because you actually hear some interesting dialogue. I'm hearing dialogue for the first time at 450 plus hours of playing that I didn't hear the first 49 hours.
Yeah, someone else found a quest that they haven't seen yet, and he's one of the ones that's played 900 hours. It happens. Mm-hmm. I still encounter things that Rook and Archon were both getting on my case about not seeing until recently.
Have you had the exciting encounter with Dr.
Oh gosh, I forgot to put that in my notes. Yes, I did that right before I actually was jumping to one of my powers. She showed up and I started laughing and then jumped out.
Yeah, I just, the AI, man, the AI description of her. Enticing encounter. All right, so you shared a picture of the map of New Atlantis, the ground map. And you said you never fully understood the layout, like you said earlier. Illness is pretty squished.
Yeah, it's a little bit more compact than I was imagining, but it's layered.
Yeah, that's why it's so big, is it's layered. And
it doesn't really show the well.
No, I would really love to see a ground map of the well. Unfortunately, I got a feeling if you go into the well and activate the map, you'll see the overhead view.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same exact thing. Most likely. Well, dude, we actually made a lot longer episode than I expected tonight.
Yeah, we go on tangents really well.
Yeah, it works. I mean, it would
Plus,
have been fun to have Kilo to go through this, but, real life and his family is far more important, so we support that.
we can also get his input on the update and stuff
Yep, next
next
week.
week. I'm sorry, but childhood after school activities are more important
Yes.
than.
That's it. You're fired for being a good parent.
How dare he?
That's going to wrap up this episode, guys. And thank you so much for listening to episode 40. And it is actually pretty cool that we get to dive into the biggest update yet on our episode 40.
Oh, that was awesome. That was a big 4-0 right there. Over the hill.
We went over the hill. Hopefully we don't die in the next 40 episodes, but
my goal is for us to at least hit 52 episodes.
We'll do that in a heartbeat. That's no problem. I would like to continue the show on for at least a couple years. It depends on the community. Like we knew when we started this show, guys, that it is going to be a short lifespan show. Anytime you do a game specific show that's not like an MMO where it's ever persistent, it's a short lifespan. If you can get a couple years out of the show, that is amazing. You're doing awesome. Mm-hmm. Most shows that do single specific game last 2 or 3 months. But we want to keep this going for you guys as long as we can. As long as Bethesda's supporting the game, we're going to try our best to come on here every week and just talk about it with you guys.
Mm-hmm. I don't plan on going anywhere. Me and Joe, we are vested enough in this game to keep going.
Yeah.
Plus, we got a great community that's lively inside our Discord. So as long as we got people interested and it's very known that they're interested, we'll keep going.
All right. So if you guys want to reach out to a show for business, like if you want to advertise on the show, we have spots. StarfieldRaw@gmail.com. Our Discord, the best way to reach us all the time, really. I haven't been active the last couple of days because I've been off and away, but I got in today and did stuff. Discord.gg/Raw Podcasts. If you don't know what Discord is, Google it. Join it and join us. Our Facebook is the Raw Podcasts. Our Instagram,
Raw Podcast 1.
Yep, that's it. And you can join us individually on different things. I am at the widget, THEWIGIT. There's no D in there. On pretty much anything except Instagram. Instagram, I am author widget.
By the way, I just realized my phone calls you Widget when I'm hitting Android Auto and listening to your chat.
Yeah, it drives me nuts. Hey, I know the spelling isn't conducive to that, but whatever.
Not everybody gets its widget. You can reach me everywhere, almost everywhere, as Tomcat213 or a variation of. Also on Steam and X, you can reach me at Rook213. And in our Discord, I am obviously Rook.
Have a fantastic week playing this new update, guys. I know we will.
Y'all stay safe out there, and I want to hear more about what y'all are doing.
What was I going to say? Yeah, I'm doing the very thing I don't like in podcasting. Have a fantastic week out in the week? Hold on.
Weed.